Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the crunkiest show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the WARZONE. Get on the phone and call somebody and tell them the great one is in the building. Who am I? I'm the five-star general. The jackals that went up in the church in New York. They robbing the churches now. Or was it an inside job? We're going to talk about it tonight, man. Let's get to it, man. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the WARZONE and tell you thank you for taking the time out to tune in to me, because you know without you, I would not have a show. I want to say that today was a beautiful day, especially if you woke up. If you woke up and you're feeling lovely, let me hear you say, hell yeah. That's what I want you to say. Hell yeah. So let's go. We got to get these privacy settings straight before we start. I don't know why it won't lock in, but we locked in now. I want to say top of the afternoon to you, man. How you doing? One of the hottest shows to ever hit social media. It's the WARZONE. If you're new to it, that's okay, because in the end, you're going to be true to it. I'm one of the realest cats walking around, going to give you the real synopsis of anything that I touch, and it is what it is, man. I want to say, you guys, make sure that you, especially if your kids are playing sports, make sure that you got these kids hydrated. They, get them what they need. Or, if you coaches are out there coaching, it's that time of year for football, make sure you got more than enough water to keep these kids hydrated so that they don't pass out or they don't have a heat stroke. Updates about me, man. I mean, I've been at war the last few days, and that's okay, because I don't wake up wanting to go to war. But if you want to go to war, I'm gonna take you to war. At the end of the day, our job is to uplift the Black community. That's what we are supposed to be doing as Black people, not people of color. Because when you're people of color, you got to uplift everybody else's community and then work on yours last. I think we need to be putting in the work to do what we need to do for us. All right, man. I've been telling you for the last couple of years that if you don't do something about this crime, that it's going to get out of hand, and it's gotten out of hand to the point that there was a church that was robbed. Bishop Lamar Whitehead up in NYC, from what I understand. The church was robbed during a live stream service. Well, it looked like a robbery to me. But then again, it stinks across the board. But instead of me telling you, let's watch it. Watch the pastor's body language the whole time this is going on.
You about to go through. Yo. All right.
This is doing a live stream service. Supposedly the church is getting robbed at this point.
is hot. Ooh. Ooh, jeez.
You saw what I just saw. What apparently it was somebody was robbing a church during a live stream. And hold on a second. Hold on just a second. Let's go in here. Let's share screen with you. And then, we're going to get into it. Let's share screen. And let's get into this. All right. If you can see what I can see. Okay. High-profile pastor was robbed during a live stream service in NYC. According to this article, the gunman burst into the church as the pastor was live streaming a service in Brooklyn on Sunday, making off with more than $1 million worth of jewelry from him and his wife, according to the New York Police Department. The thieves targeted Bishop Lamar Whitehead, who heads the Leaders of Tomorrow International Churches and is known for his flashy display of wealth. Whitehead also describes New York Mayor Eric Adams, the former president of Brooklyn Borough, as his mentor. Whitehead recounted the robbery in a video on live stream, describing the moments during the morning service when he saw several armed men enter the Leaders of Tomorrow Church in the Canassus neighborhood of Brooklyn. When I saw them coming to the sanctuary with the guns, I told everybody, get down. I didn't know if they wanted to shoot the church up or if they were just coming for a robbery. This is according to the pastor. It was the latter, tallying the value of what was taken. A spokesman from the office of the Deputy Commissioner for Public Information told NPR that the three gunmen removed more than $1 million worth of jewelry from the victims. The thieves fled on foot before getting in a white Mercedes-Benz, the spokesman said. Whitehead says he chased the men on foot and then in his car, adding that he knows they changed their clothes in the car and took off their masks. No one was hurt in the incident. In the video, Whitehead said it was both a gift and a curse to become a well-known religious figure. The pastor also made headlines in May when he mediated the surrender of NYC shooting suspect Andrew Abdullah. At that time, Whitehead said he was connected to the suspect's family through his church, but it was the pastor's appearance wearing a Fendi suit jacket as he stepped out of a Rolls Royce at the legal aid office that drew the most attention. Some of the criticism renewed after the robbery as people questioned whether the church leaders should be living in luxury. Whitehead acknowledged the high value of stolen jewelry, saying the men had likely watched the sermons to scout their target, but he added, those are merely material things. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, why are you so flashy? It's not about me being flashy. It's about me purchasing what I want to purchase. It's my prerogative to purchase what I want to purchase. And if I work hard for it, I can purchase what I want to purchase. Members of his church were traumatized by the robbery, Whitehead said. He also asked anyone with information to get in touch, saying he wants to be sure the gunman can surrender safely to police. According to his church website, Whitehead is active in business as well as in ministry, owning mortgage and real estate companies. Bullshit. Bullshit. Let me say this here, man. We're gonna go back and hold on. Let's try this here because I want to show you some things It's the investigator in me. I want to show you some things that don't seem right. It does not seem right. Let's go. NY Bishop robbed. Okay. So here we go. I'm loading it up. Hold on.
Yep.
I'm loading it up. Hold on. Okay, so now we're going to share screen again. Okay, I think that you can see it. Okay, so let's make this thing huge. All right. All right. I want you to watch something that seems strange to me. Did you watch the pastor's demeanor when all this was going on? But the one thing that struck me as odd is the guy sitting to the left. He never moved. Let's try this. I want you to see what I see. Let's see.
What you about to go through. Yo. All right. Yo, right.
This guy never moved. He never moved. And if you're afraid and you're getting robbed like that, the least he would have done is close that Bible. He would have closed that Bible because his reflexes would have made him close that Bible. Look at him. I want you to keep your eyes on him. Facial expression never changes. Nothing. Look at him. There's no sense of urgency. Okay. Stop right there. Hold on. Let me back up just a smidget. Just a smidget. Right there. He said when the gunmen burst into the church, they all had guns. Where's this man's gun? It don't add up. This was an inside job. I don't care what nobody tell me. Look at him. He does not have a gun. He dropped a cell phone. Another thing, when you come into a building to rob something, according to how these cats do it, you have a sense of urgency. You have a sense of urgency. There's no sense of urgency at all. This guy sitting in his chair is not nervous. He's not upset. He's not nothing. But they said that the pastor said that all the gunmen had guns. This man does not have a gun. He does not have a gun. That's the first lie. Now, I want to take you to something else I saw. Let's go back here. Let's go. Let's see. It was one of those epic bark. Hold on. I'm taking you back. Hold on. Keep your eyes on him. All right, now they run out the church. The pastor said he ran behind them and got in his car and he chased them. This is what he said. Okay, so if he's going that way.
Stay. Don't move. Come here. Come. Go to your mom. Go.
Now, I want you to watch what I saw. Let's back up. Let's watch this. Blam. All the gunmen had guns.
Nice. And Sir Charles loved to talk.
Hold on a
Both
second.
were about to exchange words
Hold
in
on.
United Center. Remember the Pat Riley mentality of the 90s?
Hold on a
You
second,
can't be
man.
friends with a guy and compete with him. But it was very evident that it could happen. Since MJ and Charles didn't guard each other, there were few moments.
Okay. Where did it go? Hold on a second.
What you about to go through. Yo. All right.
All right. This is what I want you to see right here. I'm looking for something. Bam. Hold on. Let's back up just a smidget. Let's make sure. All right. Keep your eyes on this guy. Remember, they all had guns. There is no gun in this man's hand. And the guy sitting to the left looks like he was expecting company. This is a problem for me right here. Is that people want to go out and they want to worship in these sanctuaries with all this foolishness that go on in them. This was clearly an inside job. It's not making sense. This guy, let me show you something. If he's the armor bearer, let's watch this. If he's the armor bearer, he protects the pastor. So if the pastor ran out the church, where the armor bearer gonna go? Okay, so the pastor gets up. He ain't running after him. Ma'am, now did you watch that? The armor bearer gonna follow the pastor. But don't look like the pastor was moving too fast because the armor bearer taking his time. He's taking his time, man. And if your pastor's gonna run out there and chase after some guys that just robbed him, then you will be moving a little bit faster. This is gonna come back. This was a setup. Almost $1 million in jewelry was stolen. Who the hell wears $1 million in jewelry to church? In Brooklyn? Are you serious? $1 million in jewelry at a church in Brooklyn. Where they find this Negro at, man? That's an insurance scam, bro. I guarantee you the pastor had about 800,000 of the million that was stolen. It just looks like an insurance scam. But this is my thing. They are going to start robbing churches because they know they collect a lot of money. Now, you know what? When you come in to rob somebody, I want you to follow me because we're going to go all the way back to the beginning.
Yo. All right.
Now, throughout this whole video, hold on, let me put it up for you. We're going to go back to the beginning. I want you to watch what I see.
About to go through. Yo. All right.
Throughout this whole video, now they rob everybody in the church except for the armor bearer. They don't touch him. They don't go near him. They don't take anything from him, but they rob everybody else. And he's right there by the pastor, and you miss this man? And you miss this man. So, Pastor, if you were chasing him in the Benz, did you give the police department the license plate number of the Benz? How far did you chase him? Did they lose you? If you're in Brooklyn, in NYC, with the traffic that they have, are you serious? Man, them people got gridlock traffic, man. Gridlock. I'm going to say this here, bro. I want y'all to share the video because I really got to say this, man. I don't know what you Negroes think you're doing in these churches nowadays. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, Christina. But when you look at the video, and maybe some of y'all are just tuning in, you're just tuning. Okay, if you're from Brooklyn, let's go back and watch this. Let's watch this. I want you to see
about
what
to
I
go
see.
through.
Yo.
Yo.
All right.
I want you to watch this. Look at the armor bearer. He does not get touched. He does not get touched at all. They don't run up on him. They don't tell him empty his pockets. Nothing. Look like they're going through the pastor pockets, but the dude to the left, nothing. He's not disturbed. Now watch you.
Come on, hustle. Nico, go.
Look at the dudes to the left. They never move.
Stay.
They ain't moving.
Come here. Come. Go to your mom. Go to your mom. Go. Oh, Jesus. Just stay there, okay? Come.
Your pastor. Hold on a second.
Why don't you just go back to Africa? Do you hear what I said? You don't.
Your pastor is outside about to chase some armed robbers, and you in there making sure that you put your Bible in the case. I don't know where y'all from, but I'm from Third Ward, Texas. Everybody would have been naked. Every pocket would have been turned inside out. Every single one. Stop playing with God. Stop it. stop playing with God in these sanctuaries, because enough is enough. Some people will do anything for money. I don't care what nobody tell me. I know some jackals. I done been around some. I never did it. It wasn't my cup of tea at all. You gonna rob everybody in the church. Everybody getting robbed in the church. If you going in there like that, everybody getting robbed in the church, man. These dudes don't have no garbage bags to put all this stuff in, so they just gonna walk out of here with $1 million in jewelry. And we supposed to believe that bullshit. For real. We supposed to believe that bullshit, man. See, I'm going to tell you something. That's why it's hard for me to go to some of your churches. It's really hard for me to go to some of them. Because I don't play with God, man. I don't, hold on a second, y'all. I don't play with God. And it's sad that it's gotten to this point. I don't give a damn if he hear what I'm saying. Negro, your karma is coming. I said, look at that again. Why didn't they rob everybody in the goddamn church? You know, some people come to pay their tithes. They got cash money on them. So you don't rob them. You selectively robbing people. You selectively robbing people. And then you wonder why some people don't go to church no more. Because some of you, and it's white ones too, pastors, priests, bishops, some of y'all is just dirty. You're dirty, you're conniving, you're all that. And you expect people to come up in these buildings and play with God along with you while you playing with them. You go to hear the word. I don't go to get robbed. I don't go to get traumatized. They had kids in that building. If that was set up, these dudes should get 50 years in the penitentiary. Every last one of them for traumatizing those children. It's just not what you do. We want to live this lifestyle, man. We want to be, just flying, off the chain on a day. See, black people get on my nerve, man. When we were going through the pandemic, it was like we was family all over the country. Seemed like we were family all over the country. Once they eased the restrictions, we went back to the foolishness. And the churches have lost a lot of money. So some people are trying to get that money back. I want to read Rosalind's, I'm sorry. I think it's Rosalind. Bonaparte's statement, 5-star people are letting them. They see it and hear it. They know what's going on. The argument is a waste of time. Our people know. One of the realest comments I'm reading so far. One of the realest comments I'm reading so far. Y'all know what's going on in them churches, man. And yet you still show up like you have to be there. No, you just need to have a relationship with the higher power. I'm not trusting these Negroes. I'm not trusting. I'm not. It's not. When you look at it, if it's real or if it's fake, you motherfuckers robbing the church now, which I knew it was coming. They robbed the pastor in Houston. I knew it was coming. This gonna be the new thing here. This gonna be the new thing here. You better have your Bible in your left hand and your 9mm in your right hand if you're going to praise God. Or you can stay at home, turn your TV on, get you some Joel Osteen in your world. You can't take chances anymore because it's sad that we've gotten to this point. We've gotten to a point where we're robbing the church. We robbing the church. And from what I understand, the pastor did, somebody said earlier, let's go back and look at the comments. Somebody said earlier, he did 20 years for fraud. 20 years for fraud. And we supposed to believe what we saw in that video. You'd have been good if your armor bearer, in my eyes, had not sat there and done nothing. If your armor bearer would have showed some type of emotion, then I could believe it. If your armor bearer would have showed a sense of urgency to run after you, Pastor, when you supposedly ran out the door, I would have believed it. There was no sense of urgency. My man CP's at Beaumont's finest, man. They say give 10%, but I ain't going to God, but it ain't going to God. So I'd rather buy a homeless person some food or get some little kids some school clothes before I do that. I can't knock him. I can't knock him. And another thing, when you look at this thing, let's go back and look at this. I want you to see what I see.
What you about to go through.
Let's back it up. Let's open it up. And I want you to see what I see. Okay. Let's according to Tria Janae, cameraman was in on it too. Why move the camera off the pastor to the left? I saw that in the beginning. If you have a whole goddamn camera in this church, wouldn't it make sense to leave the damn camera alone? You took the camera away from maybe a spot where it could have been pivotal to be able to see something. I want you to see what I see. Watch how the camera moves.
What you about to go through.
Yo. All right.
You moved that camera multiple times. You moved it a little bit to the left. Then you came back and you moved it again. And you moved it to where you can't see anything. Why would that happen? This man is going to get caught up. This is fraud. And see, the churches that are good, the pastors that are good, get a bad rap when shit like this happens, I want you to look at what I see. Let's back this thing up. Let me make sure you there. Okay, you there. All right. Watch how the camera moves twice.
What you about to go through. Yo.
All right. All right. Yo, all right.
You see it move twice? Look at the dude on the left. No emotion. Never moved. He don't have his hands up, nothing. He's never touched. You know, I'm going to say this. Some of us are trying to get close to God. Some of us are trying to get back in church and start doing the right things. This makes it hard. This makes it hard, man. Right now, you got a lot of people ain't finna set foot in their church Sunday behind this foolishness. So, when they gonna run up in Joel Osteen's church? Maybe they ain't got $1 million worth of jewelry on. But who in the hell, you're going to church to praise the higher power? Who in the hell wears $1 million worth of jewelry to church on the day that it gets robbed? I don't know very many people that do that. $1 million worth of jewelry, wear at the church on the day that it gets robbed. I was born, but I wasn't born yesterday. I was born, but I wasn't born yesterday. Some people are trying to get closer to God, and some of you devils make it hard for people to see. Black people had this thing about us where we would get up on a Sunday morning, we would go to Sunday school, and we'd go to church, and you know, later that evening they would have an evening service. But nowadays we're not even safe in the church. And I say we're not safe because whether that was staged or if it was real, it's certain things you just don't do in the church. Let's look at Al Jackson's comment. He said a lot of Christians are very loud about stuff that don't matter and too quiet about things that do. So here's my question to you guys. How are we supposed to, if this comes back dirty, which I think in my heart, with all the investigative classes that I've taken during my journey to get my bachelor's in criminal justice, I can see this is dirty from a mile away. How do we trust or build trust to go back into the sanctuaries if this turns out to be foolishness? How do we do that? How do we get past that? And see, that's why, look, black and white people are totally different. And I got to smoke me one on this. White folk, let me talk to you. You got to get a hold of your kids. They shooting up all our schools. See, black people don't do shit like we do stupid shit. We do stupid shit. Like we carjack people and leave our wallet in the car. or what you just saw, a stage robbery in the goddamn church where everybody ain't getting robbed. He say he think that they watched his live streams. And, you know, that's the way they scoped it out. No, Negro. They had to know the inner workings of the church. They had to know the how the church was built on the inside. All that. They had to know that you didn't have no damn security. Now, I don't get it with you, young man. But if you wearing that kind of jewelry walking around Brooklyn, you gonna do it with no security? Even Biggie Smalls, when he blew out the water, you don't do that in Brooklyn. And we supposed to believe this shit, man. See, these the folk that make all of us look bad. These the people that make us look bad. And I don't know very many black churches, especially where a pastor is that fly and wears all that expensive stuff. Ain't nowhere in hell you ain't gonna have no security. I don't know where y'all found this Negro from, but he going to Rikers. He's going to Rikers Island, I can tell you that. Don't drop the soap. And they gonna tell him when he walked through the door, they got a saying in Rikers, when he walked through the door, give your heart to God and give your ass to me. You get ready for it. When he walks into Rikers Island, they're gonna tell him, give your heart to God and give your ass to me. You gonna be a religious punk. And you need to be one since you felt that you had to screw your congregation. Go to Rikers so they can screw you. We can't keep doing this, man. We can't keep doing this and expect for black people to this in itself will keep black people separated for a reason. Because now the one place where black people could go and congregate and have a beautiful time, you've made that a place where we're going to feel unsafe going there. We already can't let our kids go to the park. It's hell trying to go to the mall. They shoot them all up. They got issues in the school. You gotta get your kid a bulletproof vest along with his backpack. And now you gonna have to go to church like you're Daniel. All behind some nickel slick Negroes that want to line their pocket. I'm calling it like I see it tonight. Give your heart to God and give your ass to Bubba when you get to Rikers. And you deserve everything that's going to come down the pike. You're gonna get everything that come down the pike. Black folk, something wrong. There's a total disconnect. There's a total disconnect. Do we want to do better as a people? Well, in order to do better, you just gonna have to do better. You're gonna have to change some things about how you do some things. You know, the hardest thing for me was changing. I had a drug problem back in the day. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna testify. I had a drug problem. No, I wasn't smoking crack cocaine. No, I wasn't snorting it. But I had a drug problem. I couldn't stop selling it. I knew that God had a better life for me. But what I had to do, I had to give up my old ways in order to get to it. I had to give up my old ways. No matter how much money I made on the streets, I was never happy. And trust me, I made tons. I made tons. But one day I looked in the mirror. This is real. And I said, God, I've been doing it my way forever. And I can't get ahead. I got to try it a different way. And God basically took me at that time. I told my mom, I said, I'm going fishing. I had a bunch of money, so I went and to Walmart and got me some fishing rods and some rubber worms. I was scared of worms. And I packed my bags as much as I could pack, and I put it in I had what I had at that time. I had a 98. I had a white 98. And I put it in my 98. I took my 100 G's and I put it under the spare tire of my car. And I told my mom, I said, I'm going fishing. She said, when you coming back? I say, I'll be back soon. I'm not going to be gone long. I hit I-10 and I didn't come back to Houston for 10 years. I found my first wife. I walked away from the dope game. I worked at a radio station, couldn't cash my check some weeks because the station was going broke and you had to ride 40, 50 miles to get a store to cash them. And I couldn't cut my hair, but I knew God had a plan for me. But I had to go through something to get to something. I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together at one point, but I had a wife that stood by me. I had a wife that stood by me. And I remember we were staying with her mom and her brother was on the dope. And I woke up one day because I worked at a convenience store in Lafayette, Louisiana. We were living in Okaloosa. She worked the morning shift at that store and I worked the night shift. I woke up and I went in the living room and I said, man, I'm going to watch me a movie before I go to work. You know, that's back when we had VCRs. So I'm not paying attention because, you know, she had a flow model TV and she had a VCR on top and a flower that sat on top of the VCR. So I sat there for a minute. I say, something ain't right. The Negro had done stole his own mama VCR. I called my wife at the time. We're no longer married. And I say, I don't know what we gonna do, but we finna get the hell out this house. This house is tormented. Every time you looked up, something was stolen or it was, she say, what we gonna do? You coming from work right now. Find us somewhere to live. And I say, if you don't find something, I'm leaving. And I'm gone. I can't do this no more. I'm already struggling with walking away from the game, and I won't go back. I'm working at a convenience store. She found us a patio home in Karen Crow, Louisiana, in the dark. It had got dark. I was at work by that time. She say, I found it. I don't really know how it look. I'm trying to look at it with a flashlight. I don't give a damn how it look. And from that point, we took off. I put my faith in the higher power without a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. And you know what? From that day forward, I gave it all to God, and he took care of me. From laying on operating tables and dying after fighting for kids in a school board meeting, I never flinched. I never got scared at all, because I knew if my work was done, then I was going to a better place. But if my work was not done, God was going to keep me moving, and he was going to take care of me. And he's done that. Through the pandemic, we didn't know what to think. We didn't know what was going on. This was all new to all of us. I never got a PPP loan. I never got public assistance. But you know what? I never missed paying a bill. Nobody could come and say after the pandemic was over that you were behind on your rent, because I did what I was supposed to do. Some days you have to give it to something that's bigger and better than you so that you can get to your reward. I don't work out here for these kids to get a blessing. I try to give blessings. But I know whether you call him God, whether you call him Allah, whether you call him Buddha, whatever you want to call it, he never failed me. And if I die tomorrow, hopefully y'all come to the funeral, because there's only one song going to be played at my funeral. And that's Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. No matter who I've dealt with, this is what I want. I did it my way, man. Listen to the words of the song. I did it my way. And I wouldn't change my journey for anybody. So I don't have to go into your building to have a relationship with God. But I also know that some of y'all out there right now, you need to look in that mirror, because you need to stop doing it your way. And you need to do it his way. You need to let God guide you. You need to let God guide you. I don't get it all right every day. I get it wrong more than I get it right some days. But God seems to shine favor on me as much as possible. Right now, I'm doing something for some kids, and I'm not going to speak on it. But what I'm doing, I'm not getting paid for it. I'm doing it because that's what he wants me to do. I love each and every one of y'all that take the time out to listen to me, because I'm telling you, 30 years ago, I was the one that you was running from. When we were young kids, I was the one that your mama saw me coming down the street and said, you're not playing with him. Say, man, don't tell me God ain't good. Because if he could take an old, decrepit dude like me and change my mind frame, ain't no telling what he gonna do for you. I ain't want to preach no sermon tonight. I ain't want to preach no sermon. But I'm telling you, when I looked in that mirror, I knew I had to change something about me. So when it comes to our people and why we can't go from point A to point B, we got to change some things. We got to change some things on the inside of us. We got to change some things on the outside of us. I've been poor all my life. If you see me every day, I got sweats on. Not because that's all I got, but that's what I grew up in. That's all my mom could afford. I don't let clothes dictate. I don't let money dictate, because it can be here today and gone tomorrow. When it's all said and done, your character, your reputation will be judged but one day. But your character will be judged for a lifetime. And if you believe that there is a God and you don't change, but you believe that there's a God, you believe the words in the Bible, then understand something. I'm going to be sitting right by the pearly gates when you get there, because he got to take his time with me. I'm going to tell y'all now, it ain't no easy situation with God when I get up there, because he going to be looking at me side-eye. Gary Monroe, yeah, sit down over there. I got to think about this. But I'm going to be looking for you. And if you don't get to walk through those gates, that's because you didn't believe what you were doing down here, that he would hold you accountable for. Whether you're a politician, whether you're a pastor, whether you're just an average Joe. As Black people, it's time to bow down to something greater. And when we do that as a people, that's when we will get the ultimate glory. We can't move as a people because we ain't willing to change some things. And when it comes to kids, remember this: don't expect child behavior to change until adult behavior changes first. It's a reason I'm the best in the business every night on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It's the great one, man. Get on your phone and call somebody and tell them I am the 5-star general. Until tomorrow, look in that mirror and change some things. And watch how you gonna have it all in. But until you change, God gonna take you through hell to get you to heaven.